Okay, it's really important for you to understand that when we see something that says y equals mx plus b word problems, we're going to be writing equations in the form y equals mx plus b pertaining to real life. So in this particular problem, we're talking about a water level of a river is 34 feet and it's going down, that's what receding means, by a rate of half a foot per day. So your equation is 34 is where you start, just like the y-intercept in a y equals mx plus b equation, minus 0.5 feet per day, so times the number of days, equals the water level. So there's no y and x, but it's the same type of equation. This is where you start, 34, and you go down by the slope, constant rate, every day. So now I'm just going to put in 34 for L because it says in how many days, so that means I have to solve for D when L is 26. So then we just take this equation and we do 26 minus 34. We get negative 8 equals negative 0.5D. And then we divide both sides by negative 0.5 and we get 16 days. So if you were actually doing this problem on something you were handing in, you would write, in 16 days the water level would be 26 feet. Don't be lazy, write it out. And you have to write an equation. You guys are all really smart. I bet you figured out that it was 16 days, but you have to be able to write the equation. Number 2, for babysitting, Nicole charges a flat fee of $3. That's how much she starts with, plus $5 an hour. Oh, and I should read the whole problem. H is the number of hours, C is the cost of babysitting. What do you think the slope and y-intercept represent? Well, the y-intercept represents the flat fee, and that's always true in these problems. It either represents your starting amount or your flat fee. And then your slope is 5, and that's what changes per hour. So if she babysits for 5 hours, then we're going to do 3 plus 5 times 5 equals C, and she would make $28. A plumber charges $25, so there's your flat fee again, plus $50 per hour. So 25 plus $50 per hour is the cost for the plumber. What will be the total cost after 8 hours of work? So plug in 8, and it should be $425, and then plug in 10, and it should be $525. Rufus collected 100 pounds of aluminum cans to recycle. He plans to collect an additional 25 pounds each week. So he starts off with 100. Again, it's either your starting amount or your flat rate. If you're talking about money, it's your flat rate. If you're talking about something else, it's your starting amount. He's going to collect 25 pounds per week for a total number of pounds. Write in graph. So if you had a graph paper, you'd start at 100 on the y-axis and you'd go up 25 and over 1. The slope represents the number of pounds per week. The y-intercept represents how much he started with. How long will it take him to collect 400 pounds? So how many weeks will it take to collect 400 pounds? So you plug in the 400 for the P, and you solve your equation. 300 divided by 25, and you get 12 weeks. So you would write, it will take Rufus 12 weeks to collect 400 pounds of cans. Canoe rental service charges $20 transportation fee and $30 an hour. So $20 plus $30 per hour. Now this time they want X to represent the hours, and that equals Y, the cost. What's the cost of renting for 6 hours? Put in 6 there, and you get $200. So I understand I wasn't in class to show this to you, but I hope by now you're like, oh, this is real easy. I should have been able to do it. Now here's where it gets a little bit harder, and this is what I really wanted you to focus on. A bus company took a tour bus on the ferry where there were 30 people aboard. The ferry charged the company $180. You don't know what the fee was. You don't know how much it was per passenger. All you know is that for 30 people, it cost $180. The following week, the bus had 50 people, and it cost them $220. What does this look like? This is exactly what we did in class 2 classes ago. Find the slope, and then use the point slope form to find the y-intercept. Write the equation of the line through these 2 points. Well, the slope is going to be 40 over 20, which is 2. So then if we use point slope form, I would write y minus 180 equals 2 times x minus 30. And then I would solve for y by distributing and adding 180. And now you can see that it's a flat fee of $120 plus $2 per person. So check it. If it's a flat fee of $120 plus $2 per person and there's 50 people, that would be 100 plus 120 gets you the $220. Okay, so now this one, if you have 15 people and it costs $120, then your first coordinate is 15, 120, and you have 25 people that cost $200. Same thing. 80 over 10 is 8, so your slope is 8. And then write the formula for the point slope form. Y minus 120 equals 8 times x minus 15. Solve for y. 120? Is that 120? 15 times 8? Yeah. And in this case, you'll notice that there is no y-intercept. That means there is no flat fee. They're not saying we're going to charge you $100 plus this much per person. They're just charging you $8 per person. So the slope is 8, which is the number of dollars per person. A party for 4 people would cost $320. Plug in 40 for x, 8 times 40. A water tank already contains 55 gallons of water when Baxter begins to fill it. So we've talked about how the y-intercept can be the flat rate or the starting amount. Well, this is telling you the starting amount. Water flows at 8 gallons per minute. That represents the total number of gallons in the tank. Find the volume of water 25 minutes after, so you plug in 25 for x, and you get 255 gallons. Now, I don't like the word volume there, but that's how much water is in there. Okay? This is just finding pitch's rise over half the span. So 12 over 15 would equal 4/5, and 4 over 12 would equal 1/3. That's not that big of a deal. Here's the last one with 2 points. 30 students is 150, and 70 students is 270. What's the fixed rate? So we need to find the y-intercept. So you find the slope, 120 over 40, which is 30, and then y minus 150 equals 30 times x minus 30. Y minus 150 equals 30x minus 90. Add 150, and you get 30x plus 60. That means it's $60 flat rate, $30 per member. So that's how you do those. Now I'm going to give you some more to do in class today. Hopefully this makes more sense, and look it over and see what you can do.